All right, we got a video from Detox as well. This is called The Fury. This isn't Star Citizen's carrier ship. Carriers aren't ready. All right, let's see what Detox has to say. What's going on here?
The Fury is here, and the community is losing their minds as the ship has the potential to provide a new and exciting carrier-based craft to players looking to pair them up with old ships like the Caterpillar, 890 Jump, and Hercules. The Fury's shape and size means you can easily fit swarms of these ships inside larger craft and apparently enjoy carrier gameplay light.
I mean, I'm kind of convinced that the community just likes putting ships inside of other ships, and this ship just allows you to put ships inside of other ships and more of them, and people just are enjoying it. I mean, that's like one of my favorite things about rock mining, honestly, is like, all right, I put my vehicle in my Cutlass and I fly around, and everything just like kind of feels right in the world when you're doing those things. So yeah, I don't know. That's just what I think this is for now. I also have a strong opinion about ships like the Connie now just like losing their value completely because you can put this on anything, and it's like kind of similar to the P-52, P-72.
Until we see the likes of real carriers like the Liberator, Kraken, and Idris hit the verse. We took the ship out for a variety of missions to test its capabilities and see how it performed. Before the Fury dropped, I suspected this ship would likely generate a big initial buzz, but quickly sink into obsolescence once the initial hype was over and players had used up their pocket carrier fun tokens and came to the realization that carrier gameplay in Star Citizen just isn't really worth the headache currently.
Yeah.
Trust me, we've done it a bunch in the past with ships like the Merlin and Archimedes, and while fun, it isn't an effective way to use your manpower or time.
Yeah.
I, of course, wanted to be...
We were thinking of doing this for like scouts for mining, is have a ship with one of these inside. You go out, you scout. Like the Cutlass is a really good example where you could rock mine and do this all at the same time, but I don't know, man. The headache is real.
Proven wrong with the Fury, so let's get this baby loaded up and let's take it out for a spin. Oh, it goes in so easily.
It's so tiny, yeah.
Perfection. We started by gingerly loading 10 Furies into the Hercules and taking them to the surface of Lyria for some atmospheric flight to see how they handled and give deployment of the ships a first test run. However, it wouldn't be long until we encountered the Fury's first problem as the carrier snub it's being touted as.
Fighter number 1, launch.
Jesus, that was bright.
Fighter number 2, launch.
Fuck! No, stop there!
3.
Reclear.
Oh shit, oh sorry, my bad.
5.
That was scary.
What fucking Detox cut the line?
6.
What?
No.
He didn't hit me!
You're good, you're out.
So first deployment successful, except for that asshole who cut the line.
I
Definitely
know,
wasn't
what a
me.
dick.
We realized the Furies can quite easily embark and disembark the Hercules, and with some practice, you could get this down a lot quicker and smoother too. So,
Okay.
after flying for a few minutes on the surface,
Was the ship moving? I always found that like disembarking from a ship while it's moving has just been like so bad. And if you have to stop your big ship, is it really worth doing it?
we began to notice one of the Fury's weaknesses, its fuel tanks. We'd only been out for a few minutes and hydrogen fuel was already beginning to burn fast, which is one of the places where the Fury and other snub craft fall short as carrier-based snub craft, though this is a symptom of lack of actual carrier abilities and gameplay than just the Fury's small fuel tank, which will be a running theme throughout this video. So, the Fury doesn't last long in extended battles and you currently get around 15 minutes of combat flight time before refueling is required. Without real carrier capabilities in the game, like the important ability to replenish ammo and fuel, you lose the primary ability of a carrier-based craft.
Agreed.
Which is
like, I think the low fuel is really good. Like, I see PC saying, I think low fuel is good balance. It is, but you also need to provide the ability to refuel, like on your C2 or something like that, for these, especially on a C2, right? The C2 is a carrier based thing, it would be nice to see you have that ability to do it. Even at like a really small scale. So like you have, I don't know, let's say a 32 SCU container of fuel, and you can attach a hose to it and you refuel each ship to do that. I don't think that that should be like Liberator based or Vulcan or what is the other one? The big Anvil repair ship, right? The Crucible or something, I think. Like those are great, but I think that there should be like smaller scale refueling situations for things like this, because the C2 it carries vehicles, right? So you should be able to do something like that. I don't think you should be able to necessarily refuel on every ship, but like even the Connie should be able to dump some of its fuel to the P-52, right? In some way, it's docked.
Inject power for an extended period
Laser
of time
refueling
far away
incoming.
from port.
True.
Deploying 10 Furies from a Hercules, while fun and super cool, may give you an element of surprise for a short period of time, but you're pretty much toast against equal numbers of fully autonomous enemy fighters or turret-based craft.
Yeah.
The idea that you'll be swarming your opponents with these ships is cute, but unrealistic. And of course, you could bring a Starfarer with you to refuel the Furies, but you'll be doing it far too often, and without the ability for the
And it
snubs
takes
to
too
jump
long.
to a safe spot to refuel the Starfarer, the ships in your fleet will be vulnerable for extended periods of time while ships queue up to refuel. And if you all deployed at the same time, and all ran out at the same time, have fun waiting in line. This time we loaded a Caterpillar, which again, due to the Fury's shape and size, proved highly successful.
Nice.
Unfortunately, you can't fill both sides of the Caterpillar due to the port side catwalk, but getting 5 bays filled, including the front bay, is pretty good going. We took the Furies to Ghost Hollow to see if we could run into any PvP, but we had a bunch of AI cutlasses to deal with instead. The Furies made
And
pretty
they're
quick
insane.
work of them and could make it pretty difficult for the cutlasses to get their nose on due to those Xi'an engines and their powerful strafing power. After siphoning a cool 300k from the terminals, it was time to load up, dust off, and hit a critical threat mission. While loading up, it became obvious to me how vulnerable these makeshift carriers really were to torpedoes, missiles,
You're just
and
sitting there
squadron
for
attacks.
20-30 minutes.
In the Caterpillar's case, your entire carrier complement is sitting inside a large defenseless flying coffin. And I'm sorry, CIG, but the idea that you're going to spend long periods of time loading these up with 5 to 10 players each and fly them to a hostile environment like Jumptown is laughable.
Yeah.
Now, the Hercules is obviously a better option, but deploying craft quickly in the event of critical damage or a sudden need to scrap
Like that's that's what this ship was. Is this ship is like it's funny. It's cute. It's a novelty. And it's so exciting to see that it's not overpowered. Like people can have some fun with these. People can do their machinima, like Star Wars machinima and stuff. Like Erad going out there and doing that. But it is nice to see that it's not terrible. Now, what I still think it has a place. Like the idea of what I was talking about earlier with rock mining, you can fit a Grey Cat rock and one of these inside of a cutlass at the same time. So when you're out there mining, if you have if you're going with 2 people, instead of 2 rocks, you could have one person scouting ahead and looking for stuff while the other one mines, and you can come back and they can take the ship to you. It's good, but you can also defend yourself, reasonably against a crappy pirate or something like that, right? Obviously not against a big group. So it like has a place, but as far as like these big group carriers, I'm kind of with Detox on this. It just seems novelty and cute.
scramble is precarious at best, The ship ideally needs to be stationary in order to deploy the snubs inside,
Yep.
which is the perfect moment for a single Eclipse or Retaliator to absolutely ruin your day with a size 9 torpedo. Now again, I'm all for the fun aspect of using these things to fulfill your carrier dreams. Of course, it was the first thing me and my org tried, and it's
Of
really
course,
cool
yeah.
that you can fit a lot of these inside a bunch of ships. But the reality is that the Fury doesn't make a good carrier craft when light fighters exist, and real game applications for the Fury or any snub are slim. If anything, the Fury highlights one of the problems Star Citizen has with light fighters in general, which is that light fighters simply have all the tools to do everything better and fly everywhere already without
For
any
now.
logistical support.
For now. I mean, we've been saying for now forever. That's part of the problem. But fingers crossed, you know, you got materials, you got armor, and all of a sudden the weapons on a light fighter hopefully aren't as powerful. But that's, again, like, they tell us not to ask when questions, but when it's been how many years have we been talking about master modes? You know?
One of the other glaring
What are we gonna
issues
do?
with the Fury is its fragility. It only packs a single size 1 shield, and when that drops, its engines are incredibly vulnerable.
Okay.
I discovered during this
Classic
mission just how
Xi'an tech.
fragile these were when my shields dropped while strafing a hammerhead. I began to retreat from the hammerhead, but almost instantly, one of my engines had taken critical damage, essentially putting me out of the fight. Instantly losing control of my ship.
Shit, that was one of our.
Whoa, really? Ooh.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
that's
We
not
might
good.
have found one of the weaknesses. Because the engines take yeah, look, the engines take a little bit of damage. You're basically screwed, and the engines are very easy to hit.
Nowhere to repair.
Probably take, if you're flying away from any target, you're going to lose those engines quick, it seems. Great.
Great, he says.
If I keep it below SCM. I limped on for a little longer before my fuel fully ran dry, and the AI Idris turned up to start throwing railguns at our Caterpillar carrier.
Oh, no.
Hold on much longer!
I EVA'd over to the cat, narrowly missing a railgun shot between myself and the Caterpillar before we left the area. A job well done. Gonna splat me like a... Whoa! That went right past my head. That was a railgun shot. In conclusion, the Fury is a fun and cool ship, no doubt. It has its weaknesses, and rightly so. It is just a snub after all. However, this isn't the herald of early, viable carrier gameplay that CIG
It just, what do you use it for? Right? Like, what do you use it for? That's the thing, is you listen to ISC, you have these clowns go up on there and you know, sell it to you, the dream to you that isn't real.
would like its players to believe, and I feel the ship is going to be another casualty of CIG's reliance on
Racing,
ship
it might be
sales
fun.
ahead of ship sense, inserting ships into the game with a disregard for gameplay implications and the ship's balance or role within the game's landscape. One of the most frustrating things about Star Citizen is the sheer amount of ships that already exist with loosely defined, if not completely pointless roles, often
Yeah.
imagined up by the ship creation team in order to keep the project funded. The consequence is a ton of very cool ships with little or no reason to exist, or worse, entering the game while simultaneously rendering previously developed ships obsolete. As always, thank you for
Very
your
good
support,
point.
fellow meatbags, and thanks for watching.
Thank you, Detox. That is a fantastic video, as always. Detox is one of the best creators in the game, boys. So link in the chat for that. If you guys haven't, get subscribed over there. Oh, that's just V, not Control V. There we go. And yeah, I mean, fantastic points. Everyone is losing their mind about how many of these things they can fit inside of a ship. But then after that, that's all, the novelty completely wears off. And yeah, I think I found like a tiny little use case for it with rock mining, but at the same time, it's still the situation where, like, if you get attacked, how quickly can I get into my little ship? And then all of the like, all right, so I put my rock in my cutlass, and then I put my Fury in my cutlass, and then I take off, and then I take it out, and then I take the and it's just like so much for one person. I don't know, man. It's it's a bummer. And with all these ships where all these other ones aren't worth a damn, it's just getting silly. So, yeah. Thank you for that again, Detox. And as always, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.